It's hard to believe in 2017 that this little car saved Honda's vehicle production as we know it. Honda's early cars were so poorly received that in the early 1970s, the manufacturer almost considered pulling out of vehicle production entirely. And it was the Civic that immediately and forever changed the company's future. In an era of soaring fuel prices, the Civic quickly earned itself a reputation for being economical, reliable and affordable. It introduced technology that made it more environmentally friendly than its competitors and offered intelligent packaging, the Traverse-mounted 1.2-litre engine and front-wheel drive, giving it a level of pragmatism not dissimilar to the British Mini. In 1972, small cars were pretty rudimentary. Features like disc brakes, reclining seats, air conditioning and an FM radio were unheard of. It was also incredible to think that the Civic could run on leaded or unleaded petrol more than a decade before it was mandated. It's fair to say the Civic was well ahead of its time. Well, for a car with such a short wheelbase, it's surprising that the ride's so comfortable. It really is quite a cruisy little car. As well as being really cleverly packaged, I think the one thing that the Japanese of this era really had right was just how easy these cars were to drive. I mean, the steering's not assisted and it's as easy as anything. The controls are really light and fluid. It's just a real joy to drive. Now, the little Civic mightn't be a powerhouse, but you know what, it gets along okay, and it's such a smooth little engine that you really don't need to work it too hard. There's plenty of torque right off the bottom. Now, while I'm not sure I'll ever get used to this skinny little steering wheel, the one thing I really could get used to with older cars is just how much visibility there is. These are so easy to see out of, those thin little pillars, lots of glass area. It really does make it easy to drive. You know, it mightn't have all the bells and whistles or all the power and driver safety aids of the new car, but you know what? I don't care. I love this. I could drive this all day. Ten generations and 22 million examples later, one of the automotive world's longest-serving nameplates is still innovating. Riding on an all-new global platform, it's the first Civic to introduce turbocharging to the mainstream range and a design that challenges convention. Inside the cabin, ergonomics and space take a massive leap forward. There's so much room inside that the original Civic could almost fit between the bonnet and the boot, the 10th generation model more than a metre longer overall. The first thing that grabs you about jumping into the new Civic is just how physically big this car is. I mean, compared to that little beast, this thing's just gigantic. It feels like you've jumped up about 3 car sizes. The ease of operation and the quietness of the new Civic really does take just a little bit of getting used to. And that big, fat, chunky steering wheel and the supportive seats with a head restraint. I mean, my God, a head restraint, really? Well, driving the little first generation Civic before, I found it quite difficult to actually maintain 80 kilometers an hour. I mean, it was the sort of car that was designed for around town. It wasn't really a country cruiser. Jump into this new Civic and I tell you what, it is just another world. If anything, it's a real struggle to keep it under 100. Thank God we've got cruise control. The Civic is still one of the most economical cars in its class, and while the new model costs 15 times that of the original, it's just as competitive in value for money terms. Here's to another successful 45 years, little car.